Today?
We're here because Bear is eating all of my furniture. He's destroyed my couch twice. He eats his own bed. He's eaten his own bed twice, and he's just chewing up everything in the house. He is also about to be declared a public nuisance by the neighbors for excessive barking outside. He's stealing all our stuff. I think he has 2 of my sunglasses and 2 of my eyeglasses. And he's just generally too wild around the house. When we sit on the couch, he jumps all over our faces, and we've gotten better about getting him down, but he's just really wild. He's running all over the place and just really making a general nuisance of himself. So those are the big reasons.
Okay. And does Bear know any basic commands?
Sort of. I would have just said down. He more or less knows sit or down, but he never stays. He sits for a second and he stays for a second. And that's it. And the minute I move, he moves.
All right, here we are with Bear. Okay, this is how I bring him out on the street every day we go on a walk. Okay, sit. And this could be you have a front door that opens out on the street, but any gateways, doorways like this, the gateway to going out on the street was a place where he used to get super excited. Okay, you see how I had him sit, I stepped out, he waited till I stepped back next to him. The most I'm doing when he's super excited is just tapping a little bit like that so he doesn't pull. And then of course if you're by yourself, you have to do a little left turn like that to close the gate. If you ever go through a gate with him. And this is the way the walk starts. The walk, if you want him to be calm on the walk and also get better with his training every day, the walk starts on the inside of your front door when you put the leash on, and you do exactly that with the front door. You have him sit and wait, you step out, you step back, and we just started showing you here at the gate. And then you do the front door, the gate, and here it's the curb, because the curb's a big boundary. You might want to go over there so you have more room and show me. Okay, sit. We have a new camera person, and stand back a little bit out of the street the other way, like against the van so you don't get hit by somebody. So here's the curb. He sits, he waits. We do a little sit stay. So he cannot be hyper and out of control if he's sitting and waiting at all these different places. And then we're going to start the walk over there. Okay, and you're just going to show me walking across the street in training mode. I never let him pull me across the street or race. And then by the time we get over here, 3 minutes of doing structured things at boundaries. Sit. Probably want to come way closer. Have him sit. And then, nope, make sure that he really waits until you release him. Pat his chest and say, go. Now he's free and you can start the walk. And yeah, he's excited. He knows how this works. He's like, now I did all the stuff that I was supposed to do, went through the routine, and now I'm free to sniff and pee and do whatever I want. There's a distraction walking right past us. I don't know if you ever had an issue with people on a walk, but come. I always practice calling him away from any distraction. I think that he was probably always fine on a walk with you, but any distraction on the walk that he notices somebody or something, a squirrel or another dog or a person, skateboard, whatever, come. Call him back to you. Good. Just makes your recall so much better. Just anything he's distracted by, just call him away from it. Keeps him calmer, keeps that leash loose. Always keep that leash loose on the walk. Never choke up, never walk him like this, of course, because tension on the leash creates stress and tension in the dog, always. So you're never restraining him. If you want him to not go so fast, slow down and just do little taps with him like this, and he'll slow down. Call him back to come to you a few times. Come, just like that. Good. Drawing him back to you out on the street or anywhere for that matter, several times. Call him to come like that a few times. It just kind of puts a damper on the whole pulling excitedness thing, because you keep drawing him back to you, and you see he starts hanging out around you. So if he tries to walk a little bit farther away, if he wants to pull, see I just tapped like that? That's what you do from now on. And you see it gets easier over time because he gets used to the fact that this is the way it is now every time. No more pulling, no more restraining. So you want to keep doing that, and overall, his overall day, because you walk him this way, is going to get better and better, calmer. He'll get calmer and calmer over time, in addition to all the other things we're going to show you on this video. Okay, sit. Notice that I just said the command once, he went straight there. You don't have to say stay because stay is built into sit. And we're just, of course, practicing just a very basic sit-stay where the dog accepts you walking around both ways, behind both ways, and then even if this is all you did wherever you went, do this in 2 or 3 or 4 different spots every day. See how eye contact, straight down, good. So much better than big hand comes out of the sky. He, eats out of it, and the hand somehow connected to his servant, you. So much better to have him look up at you. Straight down, good. Say good the moment you give him the treat. If you connect the good word with at the very moment giving him a reward, later on when there's no reward, he's going to think that word's pretty special, he's going to feel good. It'll be almost like he got a reward. So timing's super important. Always say good at the very moment you give him a reward. Also, you noticed that he did do the sit very easily right away, but if he's ever distracted or, once you're trying to learn with him and he doesn't do it, all you do, let's say you said the command and he didn't do it, pull up with a little bit of just gentle but firm pressure like that, his butt will hit the ground. As soon as his butt hits the ground, release it. There's no jerking, there's no popping, there's no stress. It's continuous tension. Don't try it and then give up before his butt goes down. Just hold it. Most likely that would be fine. And I've never had to continue it and touch his little butt to put it down, but that would be the next thing you would do if that wasn't working. But that would mean he was really excited and really stressed out. If he breaks out of the sit stay before you release him, you say no, do your little reset, put him back. Don't say SIT again. You say no and put him back. No. He'll get lazy sometimes, and especially since I'm talking so much more than I normally would be, because we haven't done a video with him ever before, so this is a little bit different. He thinks that I've forgotten about him or he's lost focus, but always make sure that he waits in that position until he's released. And no matter where you go or what you do, he's waiting for you to walk back next to him. With your right hand, just lean over like this, pat his chest and say, go, and he's free. Okay. Down. Good. Notice how he went straight down. First time I said it. See how I'm rewarding him between his 2 little feet. Good. Make sure that he waits until you actually place the reward on the ground between his feet. See that? No. Good. You withdraw, he takes it off the ground. It seems like a little thing, but it's very important that he not get reactive when he's in a downstay and try to mess with your hand and take it out of your hand. And it's really important that you reward him in a calm manner. Make him focus, make him wait. Good. Because if you're moving quickly, if you're nervous, or if you're hyper and you're throwing the food down, he's not going to get calm. So it's really about how you do this that matters. It's about the way that you reward him. The delivery of the reward is very important. Be calm. He's only going to be as calm as the person training him, especially with these downstays and sit stays. So see how I'm just very deliberately, calmly walking around. If he were to get up before I release him, I'd say no, and just step on the leash like that. I'm pivoting on my right foot and just my left foot putting him down. That's the way I do it. It's pretty easy to do. If I had said that command, so I'm going to release him and then I'm going to show you something else about how to do it. Okay, and then sit. Always make sure that you release him like that and then have him sit. Release him from a calm sit stay, because if you release him straight out of a down, he's anticipatory and he's waiting to be released, and he pops up and he runs all over the place, and he'll destroy any of that calmness you're trying to build in the downstay. So here in a sit stay, no, we're distracted by all kinds of little critters behind us. No. Come on, Mr. Lazy. So, no. Okay. Sit. Okay, so we released him. We had sit. We said, okay. He got up, and we had him sit, and then you release him by patting his chest. Go. And he'll be a lot calmer if you release him out of a downstay in that way. And as you know, he's a very hyper little, jumpy little dog. So you want to just end. They remember how it ends as well. So you want to release him in the calmest way possible, and that's much better than just releasing him straight out of a downstay. You know, he'll jump up and run around, and he won't be quite as calm. So the other thing I wanted to show you with the downstay is that he may hesitate when you say it to him a few times in the beginning, especially while he's learning to do this with you when he's back home with you. So do it this way, down. And if you do it that way for a couple of days, you probably won't have to do it at all later on, because you see how everything happens at once. That little help with the tension on the leash and the command all at the same moment. All he knows is you heard it once and he goes there with you, and he'll start doing it with you probably just in a day or two without the foot. But don't give him the command, wait for him to hesitate, and then force him down, because you could easily get stuck in that pattern where he's thinking, oh, because most people have done that before. They repeat the command. You never repeat any commands, of course. You have a leash. You're always training with a leash, so that's a way to gently but firmly reinforce that command, whatever command you're giving him. So you never repeat a command. He knows the first time he hears it, he gets there, he could get stuck in that other pattern, because he would start thinking, they say something, I ignore them, and then they force me down. And some people will even give a treat after that, which would be really bad, because you'd be treating him for making a mistake. So no treats unless he does things exactly the right way. If you're giving him treats just because, or because, you know, or when you have to help him go to a certain position, he'll never get any better. He'll get worse than he is now, obviously. But one more reward. He's been really good good. And even that was a little bit too fast, the way I rewarded him. I'd like you to be doing it like this. You know, good. He really waits until you withdraw and he takes it off the ground. We're going to release him one more time. Okay, sit, and then go. When I practice calling him to come to me, I always have the leash in my left hand, use the right hand for my reward. If you practice this from day one and just do it the same way every time, it's going to be so much easier for you to do it as if it's second nature, just in the heat of the moment. Just do it the same way every time. And actually, I walk him this way too. When I'm walking him, he is on a loose leash, of course. If he tries to pull, I just do little taps, or I call him back to come to me. Just like that. But if I'm going to call him to come, I always call him away from something. I never call him when he's staring at me, even sniffing or something like that. Come! Good. So see, at the same moment, I gave him the treat. I grabbed the leash so that I had him. Don't give him the treat and not secure him some way. If he doesn't have a leash, hook your hand under his little collar that has the tags on it, the little cloth collar he's wearing, the red one. Because he could easily learn that he runs to get the treat and then he runs off again. So whenever he comes to you, go. If he thinks that he's, oh, there, he's looking away from me. So come. So see how he comes back to me? Good. Everything happens at once. Now I have him. Or if he's off leash, hook his collar. He's used to that every time. Keep doing that every time, and most likely he won't even, if you didn't do that, after a while he won't ever run off, because he's so used to you not restraining him, but securing him when you give him the treat. So that's the way to do it. Just notice that whenever I call him to me, I back away. Come. Like this. Good. You saw before a couple times that as I called him to me, come, I just did like this with the leash. Good, and grabbed it. The other way to do it is to draw the leash through. See, I got the treat in my right hand. Draw the leash through your fingers like this. I'm gonna wait till we're facing you again. Come. See how I draw it like this? Good. And then I have it. See, either way works, whatever you want to do, whatever's easiest for you. And always back away, because when you back away, the dog is drawn to you. It makes him rush to you, so that in the heat of the moment, when you can't back away, your back's to the wall or something, or you can't move. Come. Good. just like that, because of the way you practiced backing away when you practice. He'll run to you when you don't back away in the heat of the moment. So it's about how you practice that matters. It's about how you practice the recall, not whether you do it or not. And obviously, come. Good. As soon as you give him the treat, as usual. Or come. Good, and the pet, and grab the leash. You can pet him and grab the leash as well. The pet and the good happen later on. There's no treat, and he doesn't even miss it because it's timing. Give the treat at the same moment you do the other stuff. The treat goes away, and later on, just the affection is all he needs most of the time. And then the last thing is just the right hand target. Make sure it's a fist, because in the heat of the moment, no leash, no treat or whatever. God forbid he gets out on the street, he's running across the street or something. All you have is this target, empty as it is right now, and you say, "Come!" and he comes running to you. Good boy. Just love him up very enthusiastically. Without the treat, he won't even miss it. Don't call him to an open hand or half open hand or something, I don't know, like you have arthritis or something. It's just a fist. It's really simple. Just always like this. He'll never know. He'll always want to come to this because we've already imprinted in him that there's something good in here. I've called him back to me hundreds of times since he's been here for the last month. So he'll come to this. So always call him to this with a treat inside at first. Later on, he'll come to it without a treat. Okay. Sit. We have him sit, we open the door, we pat his chest and say, "Go." He goes in, and then he turns around, he gets a treat, and I reach in as he's munching on his little treat, reach in, take off his little training collar, and then one more treat. Good. I know he already likes his crate and liked his crate at home, but he wasn't put in and taken out with this kind of structure. And when you add this structure to the crate routine, it's actually a tool. The crate becomes a tool for training and really helps you a lot. So I reached in, took off the collar. A lot of people have a problem with the dog, like when they're going to go on a walk. Or if they come home from a walk, taking the collar off, putting the leash on, the dog jumps all over them. It's a whole big scene. Dog rolls over and kind of twists around. It's just this big disruptive thing where the dog is hyper, putting the leash on, or especially putting it on, the collar on before the walk, so they're really excited. So if you do it like this, where you have it all set up, it's already attached to the leash. He knows to be calm at this boundary. As you can see, I control the boundary to his den. This crate is his den in his mind. See how he waits? If he tries to come out, you just say no. Just do a little tap like that to remind him if he tries to come out. Nope. And by the way, we've never done the crate here on the porch. It's always inside, but it's better for our filming purposes to do it here. So I had to do it a couple times. Now he gets it. Oh, it's just like he's thinking, oh, it's just like inside now. Good. Give him a treat for waiting. Reach in. He's super calm, just standing there waiting to be hooked up. So doing the crate routine promotes calmness in the dog when you're touching his collar, putting it on, taking it off. It's another way for him to respect you a lot more. If you're controlling his access in the crate and everything having to do with the crate, makes you more serious in his eyes. He perceive you as being more in charge, taking care of him. And obviously the crate is very important to him because we feed him in there, he gets his bones and chewies in there, he sleeps in there overnight. See how he's waiting for me to release him? I'm gonna give him another reward for that. Good. So he's waiting for me to say, okay, pat my leg, he comes out. And then of course, you're always closing this door because if you don't control his access, you don't control the boundary to his crate, his den. Come here, bud. Come stand over here so we can see you. Come here. If you don't control that, there's no point in doing it. It's all about controlling the boundary into his den, just like we control the front door boundary into the house, the curb across the street, the gateways, whatever. But this boundary is super important because that's his bedroom. That he eats in there, he loves it in there. Whenever he goes in, he gets treats, like you saw me doing. We close the door. We go to get him, he gets a treat, put on his collar, and so he loves his crate. And if we control the boundary in and out of his favorite place in the world, then he's going to think, wow, somebody's really taking charge now. So it's such a simple thing to do. Anybody can do it. You just have to do that simple, okay, really simple. Sit. Open the door, he waits, make sure he waits. Go, send him in, treat, unhook him. You can hang this little training collar up on the door so it doesn't get tangled up. It's really easy to do. He sleeps in his crate overnight here. He has been. This is his routine, what I just showed you, all day long, 6 times a day, 7 times a day, in and out, in and out, in and out. And of course, you can put a blanket or something really comfortable in there. If you have a little doggy bed, that's fine. But you do bring the food to him when he eats, and you put the bowl in and close the door. The door is closed when he's in, and the door is closed when he's out. And that's just the way it is. You guys continue this routine in your house. He's very used to routine. He's just not used to doing the routine in your house with you. So you do exactly the way I've been doing it here, and he'll fall into line there. And it's a great thing to add to his training, because it just adds so much more structure to his life rather than running in and out of the crate whenever he wants. And then you close the door from time to time and he starts barking or whatever. That's what happens with a lot of dogs. So just do it just like this, and you'll have this at your house. Sit. So you always approach the person that you are sending him over to greet, and you step away from him. He's in a sit stay. You hand the person the little treat. He sees you doing that, by the way. And if you want to make this a little bit harder for him, which of course would develop a higher level of focus because he has to wait longer and put up with the little basic sit stay like that to go over and get the treat, then you can do that. Obviously, we practice this a lot, so he's really good at it. He waits until you pat his chest. See how he's waiting? Go say hi, give him the treat, and you can pet him. Hey, take the treat. And then before he jumps, come, because he used to jump a lot. Good. Call him back to you. Step into him, have him sit. We'll do it 3 times. So we handed the treat to her. This time, just be down there on his level. See, with a dog that had an issue with jumping, if whenever they go to approach somebody, no. See how he popped up, which he's liable to do? You say no. Do your little reset, where you step into him, gently but firmly put him back, just with a little leash tension. His butt hits the ground, release it. No jerking, no popping, no forcing. But if everything good is on his level, there's no reason for him to jump. It's all down there. The hands, the treat, everything. There's no reason for him to jump. So the hands are all down on his level, and you just tell your friend, you know, hey, it's all right there. Nope. Pat his chest, go say hi. Gets a treat, gets petted, you get to practice your recall. Come, comes running back to you, good. Just do it like we showed you in the video, the come, gets the reward out of your right hand, you grab the leash with your left. He'll do it for you. Notice how he just spins around your left and sits. You do it enough times, and it's just a pattern that he always practices. One last time, I'm gonna do that sit stay again, where I enforce that little sit stay. It's just really good, because usually when somebody crouches down like that before I send him over, it's an invitation for most dogs to go over, but he knows he's in a sit stay. He's not released until he actually gets released by me in a very specific way. No. See how he kind of jumped the gun? It's a mistake. Reset. Nope. That's what sit means right there. He gets a little lazy sometimes. He waits until you pat his chest and say, go say hi. Gets the treat, gets petted, and that's your greeting routine. Come. Good.